A little girl named Alice is hiding under her bed, while two men are intimidating her father. One of the men whistles, and another man stabs her father in the heart, which leads to their death on the spot. Seeing all these things, Alice was very scared, but unfortunately, one of the killers finds her, and takes it with him. Shortly after, we see Alice, which the killers have sold at the brothel. When an old man is about to touch her, a man named Sang comes to save her. It turns out that Sang is a professional assassin, and he trains a lot of assassin candidates. Sang also trains Alice to be a S-class assassin, under his wing even though she is very young. Her training to be an assassin slowly raises her desire to take revenge for her father's death. Many years later, Alice finally manages to track one of her father's killers. When Alice thinks that she makes that man cornered, she just finds out that she falls into his trap. His men have already been waiting inside that house. Surprisingly, that man says that he isn't the one who killed her father. If that is true, then who is her father's killer? Fortunately, Sang suddenly comes when that man is going to torture Alice. He kills all the enemies, including that man. As Alice reaches adulthood, Sang decides to marry Alice, his own pupil, and then go for their honeymoon. While they are enjoying their time together, while having dinner, Sang receives a call from a man. The man says that one of his men is in danger and needs his help. On hearing this, Sang leaves to save his man. After some time, Alice is informed that her husband is killed. She is then told that Sang has been looking for her father's real killer all this time, and just now, he was killed while trying to save one of his men, who was taken hostage by the killer. Alice is so furious knowing that, and asks for her father's real killer location. She comes to that location alone, and it turns out that there are a lot of gangsters inside that place. It seems that it would be hard for Alice to eliminate them all. However, she manages to kill them one by one, with her superb assassin skills. Finally, Alice manages to reach the gangster's leader's room, who is suspected to be the person who killed her father and husband. It's more challenging for her this time, because the men inside that room are stronger. But still, she finally finishes them all by herself and ultimately kills the leader by using a rope. After eliminating the all-gangster, Alice starts to escape, but suddenly, a police force team arrives here and surrounds her. There is no way for her to flee, and she is finally arrested. However, it seems that the police department has another plan for her. Knowing her capability to eliminate that many gangsters alone, they don't simply send her to prison. Instead, they put her in an intelligence agency training program. That's an elite secret training program, which creates cold-blooded and skilled intelligence agents to help the police by doing dangerous secret missions. They perform a plastic surgery on her to give her a new identity. One day, when they emit the anesthetic gas on Alice's room, then she pretends to faint in the room. When the guards come to take her away, then Alice attacks them. She tries to escape from that place, but she can't find a way out. Apparently, the rooms in that building are mind-blowing. First, she gets into a ballet room, then enters a kitchen where a cooking class is being held. When she is about to get caught, she uses one of the workers as a hostage. After that, she enters a theater room and ends up in a makeup room. In that room, there is a woman who seems to want to help her out, and she shows Alice the exit. That woman jumps first, and Alice immediately follows her, but that woman shoots her. Being shot, Alice falls to the ground, but luckily she is still alive. It turns out that the woman is Quan, the head of the intelligence agency program. She tells Alice that they faked Alice's death. She also tells her that Alice is pregnant. However, she offers Alice freedom on the condition that Alice has to work as an intelligence agent for 10 years. Alice agrees. Before being given her first mission, Alice is trained to do many things to support her daily life, such as cooking, doing makeup, and playing drama. That's so she can blend with society while she is on a mission. Few months later, Alice finally gives birth to her child, who she named Ava. She raised her child at that place, because she is still in training. Besides being trained to do daily work, Alice is trained to fight. It looks like Alice is having a duel with an arrogant woman, who just defeated her best friend. But that woman turns out to be no match for Alice, as Alice is able to read all of her attacks, and easily knocks her down. Their battle is apparently being watched by the officials of that intelligence agency. One of the officials, named Yun, seems to have feelings for Alice. After months of intensive training, finally Alice gets her first mission, which is to kill a samurai. They engage into a tense duel, because they are equally agile and skilled, but in no time, Alice finally manages to kill the samurai. Suddenly, samurai's men come here and find out that their boss is killed. Seeing this, they chase her, but Alice kills everyone one by one with her best skills. Suddenly 2 police cars block their way, so Alice decides to jump into the river. She manages to escape, and successfully finish her first mission as an intelligence agent. After finishing her first mission, Alice officially graduates from the training program, and is ready to work professionally. Now Alice lives with a new identity and new place to live. One day, in the elevator, she meets one of the intelligence agency officials named Yun, who seems to be assigned to monitor her, but Alice doesn't recognize him, because she never saw him before. Yun lives next door to her, and because of that, they often spend their time together and they are getting closer day by day. when they are alone and ready to make love. But only then Alice suddenly receives a call from Min, her best friend during the training program. Apparently, she asks for Alice's help to conduct her first mission, which is to retrieve data from a gangster's phone. They pretend to be whores, and Alice successfully retrieves the data from that man's phone. But when she gets out from the toilet, she is so surprised, because the targets know what she is doing inside. They get into a fight, and then Alice thinks that the targets are already dead. But one of the targets attacks and kills Min. She is very sad to have lost someone she considers as her own sister. Alice is very sad, but Yun calms her down. One day, Yun and Alice decide to get married, but at the same time, Alice gets a mission a moment before her wedding reception. The mission is to kill someone using a sniper from the toilet. Alice assembles the weapon and starts aiming at the target, but she is so surprised when she realizes that her target is her ex-husband, Sang, who is supposed to have died a long time ago. However, she is not very sure about it, because she hasn't seen him for a long time. She misses her shot and fails the mission. Meanwhile, Sang and his men are investigating the shooting. He finds out that the place where the sniper was potentially aiming from was holding a wedding reception of someone who looks like his ex-wife. To make sure of it, he attends Alice's drama, and now it seems like he already recognizes that woman. After the show, Alice and Yun are having dinner together. When Yun goes to the toilet, Sang comes to her table in order to secretly kill her. But then he finally decides not to do it. He just tells her that he is her diehard fan and leaves her. However, they still pretend not to recognize each other. Apparently, Sang is secretly recording the conversation between Yun and his boss. It turns out that Alice and Yun's marriage is only a part of Yun's mission, and now, he has an evil plan with this recording. On the other hand, Kwon finds out that Alice meets Sang, her target. She suspects that there is something between Alice and Sang. However, Alice denies it and tells her that Sang is just her fan, and it's all just a coincidence. Few days later, Alice receives a bouquet from Sang, who pretends to be her fan. There is a flash disk and his phone's number 2 inside the bouquet. It turns out that the flash disk contains the recording of Yun's conversation with his boss. Alice is so disappointed and heartbroken knowing that her marriage is just a mission. She then sends Sang a message through the phone number, warning him that a woman is going to kill him. Therefore, Sang has already anticipated Alice's friend's arrival to kill him. Since the mission to kill Sang failed, Kwon suspects Alice has leaked their plan. She catches Alice, but only then a group of gangsters suddenly attack their car. Apparently, those gangsters are Sang and his men, who are trying to save Alice. Lucky for Kwon, she manages to escape. Sang and Alice finally recognize each other, and he drives her home. When Alice is about to enter her apartment, a bomb exploded from her room. Yun and her daughter are found dead after jumping through the balcony. She is so depressed and suspects Kwon has something to do with it. But Kwon says, "I didn't kill your husband and daughter." She shows her a CCTV recording of her apartment as evidence. When Yun and Ava arrived at her apartment, Sang's men had already been waiting for them. One of them tells Yun that Alice was supposed to be dead at the night when she massacred a group of mafias. It's because Sang's death was just a scenario to kill Alice. Sang expected Alice to be killed when she got into that gangster headquarters. But instead, Alice managed to kill all those gangsters. So they had to kill Ava now, because Ava is not supposed to be born. Yun tried to fight Sang's men, but he was outnumbered. When he woke up from faint, he ran to save himself and Ava, but he was too late. Now, Alice knows that the one behind this is Sang. She comes to Sang's headquarters with full anger, and shoots Sang's men one by one, even though they were her friends. After killing a lot of them, she finally finds Sang. The first question she asks is, "Did you ever love me?" Sang answers the question by saying that he used to love her, but because he killed her father, he couldn't love her anymore. Alice couldn't believe what she heard. It turns out that all this time, Sang is her father's real killer. She is so enraged and challenges him for a death match. Their fight is very fierce. However, when they run out of stamina, Sang's men tell Sang that the cops are coming. So he decides to flee. Alice successfully chases their bus, and fights Sang with his men alone. When she is cornered, she cuts the bus driver arm and the bus flips over. Sang is now injured. Alice is one step away from killing Sang, but it seems hard for her to kill someone she used to love. However, Sang suddenly whistles, and makes her remember the whistling sound she hears at the night her father was killed. Alice finally loses control of herself, and kills Sang instantly. She emerges from the wrecked bus. The cops surround her, but she smiles, because it killed the one who killed its father, husband and daughter. And the movie ends here. Thank you.